Well, first of all, thanks for coming up to our part of the state. We welcome in Fayetteville the discussion of how to protect our water quality, and given Fayetteville's reputation of acting to protect water quality and yet fighting a lot of battles in that process, we understand the dilemma that you're facing because you're on both sides of the street a lot of times. From Fayetteville's standpoint, I'd like to offer the services of the city to assist in that advisory group. We have several people that have a lot of experience across, again, the entire area of the watershed protection and of water quality protection. And I know, to your point, I actually served with the Federal Advisory Committee for 5 years in the late 90s, and we were remarkably capable of reaching consensus on almost every point. But there were a few here that we just agreed that we weren't going to be able to come to complete consensus. We had NRDC, we had Sierra Club, we had a number of, we had all sides of the table. It was a very, very fascinating process. So the group can be really dynamic and can reach a lot of really good consensus.
That's what we're looking for.
Some specific comments on the regulation. For one, I know that there was some drafted legislation that was discussed in the last legislative session relating to oils and grease. And that was an area that I would request that this reg be possibly expanded, because oils and grease face a challenge for everybody in the process, and there are some very environmentally friendly ways whereby oils and grease can be recycled in many cases and then reused, but right now there is very little regulatory support for a process like that. And so if that section could be expanded both in the regulation and then following in permits as well as legislatively in the next legislative session, that's an area we might be able to improve, and that's section 2.510 of the reg. Also, additionally, an area that is affecting municipalities, certainly statewide, would be the next section, 2.511, relating to minerals and mineral standards, as you're very familiar with. And that's one that we would request be reviewed to ensure that the standards are certainly very conservative to maintain the uses of the water bodies, as well as maintain, of course, the aquatic uses and any other use, but also ensure that they are scientifically based and appropriate for the water bodies where they apply. Phosphorus, of course, is a discussion. Nutrients is a discussion throughout, certainly this corner of the state. And that's one that I think we've actually got nailed down pretty well in the regulation, that I think that we're fair, reasonable, appropriate, and again, very, very protective of the water quality, which is what the objective is. And as far as offering the services of the city, Steve, I know several times I've offered, when we've discussed some of the minerals issues, if you want some specific pointed, if you want somebody to serve with that group, it would offer my services, or again, somebody else from the city of Fayetteville, I can speak for the mayor in making that offer. Thank you.
Thank you.